Alright, reading 2, bring back the big cats. Let's see what we've got. And immediately see some bad news. We have multiple choice. Not good. But if there's multiple choice here, hopefully it means there's no multiple choice in reading 3. Then we have a summary, but this is one of those difficult summaries. It's summaries with a box. Some of these don't have a box. Some of them do have a box. These ones are these ones are more difficult. And some yes, no, not given. Alright, so we probably should start with this one. You got to try and find that. Now there's a problem with this because we look around and it's very difficult to actually find where this paragraph comes from. Links is over there and Britain is everywhere. So at first glance it seems quite difficult to see where this comes from. So this is very important. Listen very closely. This is a good example of exam technique and how exam technique can help you. What I would advise here, okay, so you've gone and you've decided to do this, but you can't find it. So then what do? Find the other question types. See where they come from. Maybe you can get some help there. Multiple choice is very difficult, but multiple choice, there's one easy thing about multiple choice, is that they often tell you where it comes from. So that's the third paragraph. You're not going to answer them. You just want to see where they come from. That's the fourth paragraph. So this is probably going to be fifth paragraph. Let's quickly go and see something about the sea. 1, 2, 3. This is the fourth paragraph. There is the fifth paragraph. So that's all I need to see. Okay. And that probably means the last multiple choice comes from the sixth paragraph. Environmental campaigns. Let's see if we can find it. Yes, environmental movement campaigners. So that multiple choice probably comes from there. So that means the multiple choice stops here and probably means the summary starts there. But we can also check. We can go to our yes, no, not given. We want European. We want 1970, European, Europe. Check at the end. And I see 1970 over there. I see European over there. So that probably means the yes, no, not given starts here or maybe starts here. So now I feel quite certain that the summary comes from here. But the summary is just one paragraph. So it's probably just one paragraph in the text. So my guess, just from looking at the other questions, is that the summary will come from this paragraph. And then you can go and see if you can find any keywords in here in that paragraph and confirm your suspicion. What do you scan for? Okay, links. But links is many places. Britain is many places. It's in the title there. One thing I really like to scan for, I've said it before, is something about decades, centuries, things about time. Why do I like it? Because if they paraphrase it, it's not a difficult paraphrase. There's only one or two ways to paraphrase decades, and that's 10 years, the last 30 years or something like that. Habitats may be efficiently native to certain areas. Again, something about place. So scanning for things about time and scanning for things about place, it's a good idea because the paraphrase is not going to be very difficult for you to understand. Let's see if we can find something about time, something about place in that paragraph. So we're scanning and there it is over there. That makes me feel great. That helps us. Anything about place? Plantations maybe, but that's more about the trees. Parts of our, that's place. Risk. All right. And maybe the woods is place, but it's not a general place. All right. I'm feeling maybe this one is a bit difficult, but I'm feeling quite good about this recent decades one. So I'm just going to repeat. This was very difficult to find where it came from, but you can use the other question types to help you to see where something comes from. You can use the other question types to delete some paragraphs, and that's an important part of your IELTS exam technique. Look at all the question types and see where they all come from. All right, so now how do we do this? This is a difficult one because these won't be in the paragraph. You need to find synonyms. Where do you start? I like this recent decades. I feel confident about that. So something whose populations have increased enormously in recent decades. Whose can be anything. It doesn't only have to be people. I like reduce numbers. Reduce numbers, I understand. I'm clear about that. So we want to, and I also like increase enormously. These we understand. So can we see any reduce numbers or increase enormously? There's no reduce numbers, but this means increased enormously. It's a good word to know for your vocabulary, to explode. A bomb explodes. So what explodes? The roe deer, a species that has exploded. So this is my answer over there. We don't know what roe deer is, but don't worry for now, we'll figure it out later. We don't see roe deer over here, that's the problem. But just write it, maybe write it on the side there, or write it wherever you want for now. Now, be careful with this summary. They can change the order. Often they do, but maybe they don't. So let's hope they don't and see maybe that one is before this one. There is no evidence that the lynx has ever put something in danger. Presents no threat to human beings, no danger. There is no known instance, there is no evidence of the lynx preying, that means hunting, put them in danger on people. Right. So and this is also danger. So we can choose human beings or people here. I do see that there. Hillsides, farm animals, endangered species, trees, wild animals. I want something about people. So that one was a little bit easier. We can go straight for humans there. But please don't write humans. If you write humans, it's wrong. You must write E. I've seen so many students throw their marks away. Look here, it says write the correct letter. Don't write humans. Okay, so I'm quite confident that number 19 is E. And then, when you're confident about something with this question type, you can delete it. There's nothing here about you may use it twice, so delete it. Next, it would present only a minimal threat to. They tried to trick you here because present a threat to is here. Presents and threat and to. But in the summary they say minimal. Here it says no, and those are different, so you can't choose this. You need to find something else that's present a minimal threat to. And you just need to scan for it, and it's over there. Presents little risk to. Minimal means little. Minimal doesn't mean no. Threat and risk, close enough. So there is our answer. Sheep and other livestock. You can write sheep and other livestock over here, or you can quickly check, do you see anything about sheep and other livestock? Hopefully you know what a sheep is. A sheep is a farm animal. So again, please don't write farm animals, you must write F. Alright. Furthermore, and this is where they trick you. Certain areas of the country, why, how do they trick you? Because they go back. Many students will be searching for the answer here. Maybe even they will go and search for the answer over here. But unfortunately, IELTS has changed the order. They've gone back. They often do this once in the summaries. So this is what we were looking for. This is a place, parts of the country, certain areas of the country. What else can we see? Initiatives to return native something, to return. Can you see return? And that is there. Bring back. Bring something back. What are we bringing back? We're bringing back the forests. Bring back means return. So we're returning the forests to certain areas of the country. Can you see anything about forests? And the closest thing to forests is trees. So I'm happy with that. I'll go with A. Right, now all we need to do is take a guess. What is a roe deer? Is it a hillside? Remember, the numbers of this thing have increased enormously, so it's not a hillside. it's either a wild animal or it's an endangered species. But again, IELTS has tried to trick you. They've said it's a species that has exploded in Britain in recent decades. But the important thing to notice here is I do not see this word. We don't know that it's an endangered species. They've done it deliberately. They've tried to trick you. So we can't choose this one. A species and an animal, it's a close enough synonym. So actually a deer is a wild animal, an animal that doesn't live with humans, it lives in the forest. And so you had to choose D for that one, because we didn't see endangered. Alright, so that was a very difficult summary. Why was it difficult? First, it was difficult because we didn't know, it was difficult to find where it came from. So we used the other questions to help us find where it came from. Secondly, there weren't easy scanning words. Thirdly, you had to find synonyms. And fourthly, they tried to trick you with some words that weren't there. And then fifthly, they didn't follow the order in the text, they went back. Often they do that once. If you can get 3 out of 4 there, you've done very well. Alright, let's move on. Alright, on to the yes, no, not given. One quick thing I want to say is, what is the difference between yes, no, not given, true, false, not given? They think, people say, other videos say, it's the difference between fact and opinion. Facts in true, false, not given, opinion in yes, no, not given. But many times I will see facts like this in true, false, in yes, no, not given. So really, my opinion is there's no difference. Don't even worry about it. You don't need to worry about what that difference is. All you need to do is remember to put yes instead of true, or true when it's true, yes when it's yes, false when it's false, no when it's no, or at least T and Y. Don't make that mistake. Alright, good. So we know where we are. We're looking for Britain and European 1970. We see European there, 1970 there, but Europe is over there, Britain is over there. So we know it's this paragraph. Just scan through this. I don't see anything over there. Please notice this and this. That also is European. Alright, so it's actually this sentence over here. That is the reference to Europe. So what is our target language? I would probably say it's this, the first. Is it the first? Is it the last? Is it, don't we know? Notice this, here could means might. Sometimes could is past tense of can. Sometimes could means something about the future. So could can be a very difficult word. But actually for this we don't really need it. Our circle word is that. Is it the first country? Or will it become the first country in the future to introduce the links? Or don't we know or not? It has been introduced. There, that's past. So the could in that question was talking about the future. The could there means might. So it's not the first because these are already have already introduced the links. So it's quite a clear one that it's not the first. The tenses were important there. This is a past tense, has been introduced, has re-established itself. The question was talking about the future. But really we wanted to know, is it first or not? And we know it's not because it's already been done. Great, that's a no. Next, the large growth in the European lynx population has exceeded conservationists' expectations. What is your circle word? What do you think? Take a look. This is what I would circle. Has exceeded means has it gone more than? Is it bigger than? And often these circle words, the target language is about more or less or first or second or before or after, that sort of thing, up or down, increase or decrease. So has it gone more than or less than, or we don't know? I think that's the main sentence that we're looking at. Of course you must look all around. Can you see anything about their expectations? All they're saying is that it has tripled. That means it's grown a lot. They're saying, yes, it's grown a lot to 10,000, but they don't say anything about what we expected, what the conservationists expected. So that must be not given. There's nothing there about expectations. We don't know if it exceeded their expectations because we don't know. Right. Changes in agricultural practices have extended the habitat of the lynx in Europe. Circle word, what do you think? I would go for that. Extended means made longer. In this case, it could be made wider. Have they extended it or made it? Have they made it bigger? Have they made it smaller, or don't we know? Of course, don't ignore these things, these phrases. You must find these changes in agricultural practices and habitat. It's a difficult paragraph, a paraphrase. Can you see the changes in agricultural practices? Actually, they don't say anything about habitat. Can you see the paraphrase for changes in agricultural practices? What is agriculture? Agriculture is farming. So it's there, something there. This is the changes. Farming has left the hills. So that's the changes in agricultural practice. The lynx has been able to spread. Yes, it has spread. It has extended. It has gotten bigger. Spread means get wider, get bigger. So our answer to that is spread compared to extend. Yes and yes. So our answer is yes. Last, it has become apparent that species reintroduction has commercial advantages. This one, the circle word, is quite difficult. I would go with this adjective over here. Sometimes the circle word is an adjective, and it's not one of these bigger, smaller, increase, decrease things. It's an adjective, and you must compare two adjectives. This is a tricky one because the vocabulary is very difficult. It has become apparent means it is clear. It has become clear that reintroducing the species has commercial advantages. Commercial means money, something about money. You can make money, economic. People discover it is more lucrative to protect wildlife than to hunt it, as tourists will pay for the chance to see it. So essentially what IELTS is doing here is they're testing if you know what that word means. French speakers and Spanish speakers will maybe know from their language that this means something about money. This means money making, profitable. So lucrative and commercial are close enough synonyms. They are not opposite, they are making money. So the answer for that also then has to be yes. Alright, quite tricky. Yes, it is reading 2. So these will always be a little bit difficult. I think if you can get 2 out of 4 here, you've done well. But if you manage to focus in on the correct thing that IELTS is asking for, maybe 3 or 4 out of 4. Right? And then it's time for multiple choice. Boo! Okay, now I'm sorry to say it, but if you're a Band 6 student, you have very little chance of getting these right. They are incredibly difficult. My advice would be go on to reading 3, see what you can find there. Maybe there are some easy marks you can find there. Come back to this. If you have time, do them. If you don't, B or C, whatever your choice is. Anyway, let's take a look. 2006. I'm just going to show you where the answers are. 2006. So what did that discovery reveal about the lynx? Reveal means show. What did this discovery show about the lynx? The 2006 find. Well, look, there they mentioned 2006, but please notice again there is our but that shows you here comes the important information. However, there's more important information. You can't just stop there. You actually need to look at all of this. In fact, this is the sentence that they are targeting. If it's so, it brings forward the cat's estimated extinction date by 5,000 years. It means that it went extinct 5,000 years later than they thought before. And it survived in Britain longer than was previously thought. It was extinct 5,000 years later. Longer. Right, so that's D. Super difficult. What point does the writer in the 3rd paragraph? So what does he say about large predators? One of the most striking findings, this is quite strong language, so we should notice that. Large predators, the ecosystems without large predators behave in a different way to those with large predators. Them over here means large predators. Some of these predators drive the processes that create hundreds of species. So it's create hundreds of species, and then the killers turn out to be bringers of life. So the predators have a positive effect. Just that's all you really needed to see. This is positive, this is negative. We didn't see anything about that, and we didn't see anything about should. So your answer was here. They increase biodiversity. They create a space for hundreds of species. Biodiversity, a good word for your vocabulary list. So that's A. What does he say in the fourth paragraph about conservation? British Conservation has selected arbitrary. It has tried to preserve. This is all very difficult. But, maybe you should notice the but, ecosystems are not, they are dynamic and shifting relationships. My goodness. You really need to read the whole paragraph and understand what they are saying. They're saying they've had this approach, and then after the but, they're saying why it was the wrong approach, basically. And that means that they had the wrong approach. It doesn't say that they failed. It doesn't say it's changing direction. It has taken the wrong approach. It doesn't say it focused on the widespread species. The meaning of the paragraph was they did this, but it's not a good idea. My goodness. So that would have been C. Protecting areas of the sea from commercial fishing will result in benefits for the fishing industry. You see, we see fishing industry here in all of them, so we're looking for something. What do they say about the fishing industry? There's the fishing industry. This policy would also greatly boost catches in the surrounding areas. The fishing industry's insistence is damaging to its own interests. So if they followed this policy, it would be good for the fishing industry. It would boost is a good word for your vocabulary. It would increase the catches, increase the number of fish that they catch. So there would be benefits. Doesn't say anything about that. Doesn't say anything about that. And it doesn't say that they must change it. So your answer there is A. Often with these multiple choice, if you're really going to try them, look for things that you can delete. We don't see anything about short-term losses, so just delete that. And maybe you can narrow your answers down that way. Finally, in this wonderful question type, what distinguishes means it's a good word for your vocabulary. What makes them different? You just need to read the paragraph, see if you understand. One of the reasons why enthusiasm is spreading is it creates a more inspiring vision. More inspiring are the key words that you wanted to look at. More inspiring, positive. More achievable? No. More appealing? Yes. More articulate? No. More sounder? No. Inspiring, which one is inspiring? That, or that, and it's this one. So if you said B, you would have gotten 0. But if you said C, you would have gotten 2. Don't let multiple choice eat your time. Be careful. Right, let's move on to reading 3.